Hey guys, so I thought it's about time that I update my story since it's been a few years since the last one. So now with more years of business experience behind me, more mistakes and lessons under my belt, in case you've already heard my story, I've got quite a bit more to update to it. And that story is the story of Showpo and my business journey so far. But first, let me give you context. I'm Jane Liu, the founder and CEO of Showpo. Showpo is an online fashion store that's based in Sydney, but we sell to over 80 countries around the world. We have dabbled in bricks and mortar stores. We had 3 stores at one point, but now we're purely online. We have a team of over 40, which has grown from just 14 this time last year. We have 2.9 million followers across our social media channels, but we can always do it some more, so please give us a like and a follow. And we are currently doing over $30 million in revenue, and our goal is to get to 100 million by 2020 with no external funding. But we started from very humble beginnings. My startup journey did not have the best start. I was in debt, I had no industry experience, no funding, and my first business absolutely failed. But I definitely learned some really important lessons from it. Growing up, I never had an interest in starting a business at all. I would not have even considered myself slightly entrepreneurial. My parents and I immigrated from China when I was 8, and all they wanted for me was to have job security working for a big company. So I was brought up to be quite studious. In my final year of high school, I secured a job to work at Big 4 accounting firm KPMG straight out of high school, and I was going to uni part-time at night as well. And this cadetship was the best thing I had achieved to that point. I was so excited to be making a full-time salary, to be working in this big company, to be wearing a suit every day, to be making all these new friends at work, and I was an avid attendee of Friday night drinks. I had absolutely no interest in starting a business at all. It just seemed way too risky and just one of those things that you hear or read about other people doing but never consider doing for yourself. And so, well, obviously that will change. And I would love to say that it happened in a way that was more profound than what it was. But I fell for this guy at uni, this international student who swooped in from Europe and just talked incessantly about traveling and starting his own business. So as these ideas started to manifest in my head over the next few years, I started to question the life that I had planned out for myself. So in my final year of uni, despite having my career already fast-tracked, I decided to take unpaid leave from the graduate job in corporate finance that was awaiting me. I broke up with this guy, the guy who introduced me to these ideas about traveling and starting a business. Good. And I decided to go on exchange in a small town in the south of Sweden. I was away for 9 months, and I had the best time of my life. Now, I didn't go with a preconceived notion that I was going to find my true calling and discover myself clearly. But even if I did, there was no time for it amidst all the boozing. So when I came back to Sydney, I went back to my job in corporate finance at Ernst & Young, and don't let the fake smile fool you because I absolutely hated it. I could not adjust back to life in a cubicle. So when a good friend came to me and asked me if I wanted to start a business with her on the side, I jumped at the chance. So the idea was to run pop-up stores in underutilized locations. So essentially we were running market stores in bars. We had a store in Sydney CBD and one in Bondi Beach. We stocked clothing, accessories, homewares and knickknacks from emerging designers. And so we were essentially running a market store inside a bar. But unlike a regular market store, we were setting up everything from scratch every day. So we'll get up super early in the morning, take everything from my parents' garage, put it in a van, go set up all the racks and tables, put out all the stock, set up for a few hours of trade, and then unpack it all, put it back in my parents' garage. And we were doing this 4 times a week. This all sounds pretty stupid now, right? I mean, how was this business ever going to be scalable? It was so labor intensive. We had stock turnover problems. We were limited by foot traffic. There was no product market fit, just to name a few of the issues. So I think there's 2 types of businesses. There's the type where you work in a business and you're working to supplement an income that you would otherwise make in a job. You're essentially selling your time and your income is limited to the hours that you can work or by the foot traffic to a store, for example. And then there's the type of business where you work to grow the business and the business works for you. And that is a scalable business where your labor and your time does not directly impact the outcome. And through this failed venture, I learned the distinction between the two and the merits of having a business that is scalable. So another thing was, instead of taking rent or store fees as our source of income like a regular market, we were making commission based on the sales. We backsold from a target based on fallacies instead of building out a proper business case. We thought that if we wanted to make $1 million in our first year, we just needed to stock 100 designers, sell 2 things per designer a week, at an average sale of $100 each, and that would be easy, right? Wrong. The way we approached this business was a bit like this.
I don't get it. You see, phase 1, collect underpants. Phase 2, phase 3, profit. Oh, I get it. No, you don't, fat ass.
So I guess the lesson I learned here was that you don't know what it's like until you start. So don't back an estimate until it's tested and trialed. Start with a minimal viable product. With this business, I learned a very valuable lesson about getting your product mix right. When choosing what to stock, you need to be selling what customers actually want. Now, I know this sounds really obvious, but we thought that if we liked it, customers out there would, and it's just really not as easy as that. If you're selling a product that's not in demand, there is not enough PR or marketing in the world that could make it work. I'm sure there's exceptions, but you need a lot of money. But anyway, we did get a lot of PR and it just did not work. Not only did some labels never sell, the ones that did, because we were setting up the same location every week, customers that came back the following week were seeing the same products. And that's when I learned the importance of having high stock turnover, which is why now at Showpo, we have over 100 new arrivals a week. So for marketing purposes, even though we have heaps of different campaigns and we have a lot of PR, the best story to drive sales ultimately is new arrivals. And ultimately, the most valuable lesson that this business taught me, this bright-eyed entry-level entrepreneur with high hopes, was that no matter how much hard work and passion you put in, if the business model doesn't work, it's never going to work. Now, with hindsight, I realized that at the time we thought we had this great new approach to this traditional market concept, but the reason that it wasn't already being done was because it doesn't work. Now, I'm not saying don't not go and try and reinvent the wheel. Sorry to be double negatives, but we are in an age of tech innovation with so many great new ideas and business models changing and improving the world. But if you do have a new idea, a new business model, really scrutinize it a lot more than we did before you go all in and invest all your money into it. So anyway, back to this actual business. So 6 months into it, my business partner convinced me to quit my job in corporate finance to focus on the business full time. Though she did have to coerce me a little bit, I was so ready to leave. After I came back from my big Euro trip, I saw my path up the corporate ladder with a completely different view. It was no longer something ambitious to work towards that provided me a safety net and the ability to buy a house and to travel. I saw it more like a prison sentence. So on a not that exciting Monday, nothing more extraordinary than a regular Monday, I'm sitting there behind my laptop, nursing my hangover, and I looked at my phone and realized that 3 hours had just passed. And I realized that this meant I was literally 3 hours more dead than I was, and all I've done with my life was remove the circular referencing from this spreadsheet that I've been staring at, and now I was gonna go drown my sorrows in a meatball sub for lunch, just like every other day. How could this be my life? So I quit. Now everyone thought I was crazy. It was in the middle of the global financial crisis and everyone was getting made redundant left, right and center and just trying so hard to hold on to their jobs. And there I go, quitting my job to run market stalls. My friends and colleagues all thought I was an idiot. And mind you, this is back in 2010, before entrepreneurship was trending. Regardless, I felt great about this, but let me make things clear. I didn't quit because I believe in the business, because to this day, I'm still not really sure what we were trying to do. I quit because I hated my job. Now, I know that that's a total cop-out, and I'm not proud of it, but that is what happened. Anyway, I felt great about it. I was really excited to be working on the business full-time, and I thought I was going to take it next level. Until 1 month later, my business partner told me that she didn't want to do it anymore and she wanted to fold the business. And so that was it. That was the end of Fatboye Group. Yeah, did I mention that the business was called Fatboye Group? Yep. Anyway, when this happened, I literally hit rock bottom. I had never faced failure to this degree before, and I was just so absolutely devastated, as you can imagine. but I had no other choice but to keep on going and to start another business. So anyway, check out part 2 for how I moved on from this experience and started Showpo, which is now a $30 million business, and how I did it with no money at all, and that story will be slightly less depressing.
What you want.